So, welcome back to the channel Awesome Learning. Now, we will start with the topic gametogenesis. Gametogenesis means formation of gametes in the gonads. Gonads are testes and ovaries. So, formation of the gametes in testes and ovaries is called gametogenesis. Gametogenesis are of two types. One is spermatogenesis, that is formation of sperms. Other is oogenesis, formation of ovum or egg. So let's begin with spermatogenesis first. So it is the formation of sperm or spermatozoa in the seminiferous tubules of the testes. If you remember, in the previous video we have discussed that seminiferous tubules are lined from inside by two types of cells, the Sertoli cells and the sperm mother cells. So these sperm mother cells will give rise to the spermatozoa. Now stages of spermatogenesis are of two types, or two stages are there. First is the formation of spermatids. So that is spermatogonia or sperm mother cell will give rise to spermatids. Then these spermatids are transformed into sperms by a process called spermiogenesis. So, you children, there is a flow chart to explain the whole process of spermatogenesis. Let me show you here that sperm mother cell or spermatogonia which are diploid, first they will undergo mitosis. They are undergoing mitosis to increase their number. To increase their number, they are undergoing mitosis, which is equational division, and the chromosome numbers are same. So all of them are spermatogonia. Just to increase their number, they are undergoing mitosis. Now out of these spermatogonia, the ones which are matured, they are called primary spermatocytes. Of course, they are also diploid. These primary spermatocytes will undergo meiosis, and we know that meiosis is divided into two stages, meiosis 1 and 2. So when primary spermatocytes undergo first meiotic division, reductional division will occur and they will give rise to secondary spermatocytes which are haploid. Now these secondary spermatocytes will undergo second meiotic division and they will give rise to spermatids. We all know that meiosis 2 is equal or equivalent to mitosis, and here the chromosome numbers are same. So secondary spermatocytes will give rise to spermatids. Now these spermatids will undergo spermiogenesis, a process which will transform these spermatids into spermatozoa or sperms. So this is the whole process of spermatogenesis. Let's see to this flowchart also. One primary spermatocyte gives rise to two secondary spermatocytes. Okay, as you see here, one primary spermatocyte give rise to two secondary spermatocytes. Then these two secondary spermatocytes individually will give rise to another two spermatids. So if we sum total, we can say that one primary spermatocyte has given rise to four spermatids. Yes or no? You can see one primary spermatocytes give rise to two secondary spermatocytes. Then each secondary spermatocytes give rise to two spermatids. So because there were two secondary spermatocytes, so total number of spermatids are 4. So we can say that at the end of the meiotic division, one primary spermatocyte has given rise to 4 spermatids or 4 sperms. Right? Children, now what is spermiation? We have learned what is spermiogenesis. Spermiogenesis is transformation of spermatids into sperm. Now the next term is spermiation. Spermiation means after spermiogenesis, the sperm heads are embedded in the Sertoli cells to get the nourishment. They are actually embedded or fitted into the Sertoli cells so that they can get the nourishment. Then they are released to the lumen of seminiferous tubule. So this releasing of sperms is called spermiation, right? So after spermiogenesis, the sperm's head are embedded in Sertoli cells to get nourishment, and when they are released into the lumen of seminiferous tubule, this releasing is called spermiation. So children, many hormonal activities are also participating in the process of spermatogenesis. Let's see those. Role of sperms in spermatogenesis. Children, we begin with hypothalamus. We all know that it is a part present in the brain. Hypothalamus is the one which regulates all the hormonal activities inside the human organism's body. So hypothalamus secretes a hormone called GnRH, that is gonadotropic releasing hormone. Now this hypothalamus, when it secretes gonadotropic releasing hormone, this hormone reacts or it stimulates the pituitary. It acts on the pituitary, or you can say it stimulates the pituitary to secrete two hormones, two gonadotropin hormones. One is luteinizing hormone and the other one is follicle stimulating hormone. Now let's see what they do. Luteinizing hormone, you can remember the way L for luteinizing, L for Leydig cells. If you remember, Leydig cells are present on the external or outside of seminiferous tubule in the space which was left in the compartment where the seminiferous tubules are placed outside the seminiferous tubules. So this luteinizing hormone will act on the Leydig cells and they will tell or they will stimulate them to secrete androgen. Androgen are male sex hormone, and these androgen will stimulate spermatogenesis. What is spermatogenesis? The process of the formation of sperms. So androgens will stimulate the process of the formation of sperms. Now let's see what the FSH has to do. Follicle stimulating hormone acts on Sertoli cells. Again, they are present in the inner wall of the seminiferous tubule. We have learned that Sertoli cells provide nourishment to the developing sperms. So FSH act on Sertoli cells and they stimulate them to secrete the factors for spermiogenesis. Certain factors are required for the transformation of spermatids into sperm. So those factors are released by Sertoli cells. And who will tell Sertoli cells to do so? FSH. Who will tell FSH to be released? Of course, pituitary will release LH and FSH. And who will stimulate pituitary? GnRH, which is released by hypothalamus. So these are the roles of hormones on in the process of spermatogenesis.